All right, the Cool FM sports team here. We have some very special guests with us here today, representing Tombstone basketball, the Lady Yellow Jackets. We have a great student athlete here, our player of the week, Damaris Alvarez. Let's give a round of applause. I know our producer's going to add some effects on that. It's going to sound good. All right, and Coach V of Tombstone Lady Yellow Jackets as well. Coach. So let's start with Damaris. Unbelievable season already, unbelievable career, I should say, already. Just a sophomore, and as you've seen all over the news through Cool FM and throughout Sierra Vista News, already crossing 1,000 points through career scoring. Such an amazing accomplishment. We've had a few players do it throughout our county, especially this year or the last couple of years, but the first to do it at such a young age. What do you have to say about yourself? Is that something that you had a goal for yourself or what?
Yeah, it was a goal that was talked about between my dad and my coach since sophomore year and towards the end of freshman year.
Oh, yeah? Okay. When did that become a reality, or when did you actually start talking about that being a goal for you? Like, I'm going to score 1,000 points. Like, is that something you knew as a freshman that you were going to do, or it was maybe once you got to 500 points real, or what?
I think after freshman year, I thought about it more.
Nice, nice. So 1,000 points, I think that's an accomplishment that most varsity players reach their senior years, and because just the amount of points that you have to score in every game. So is there any, out of 1,000 points, is there any points that stick out to you the most or that are more memorable than the others?
I think the points that I scored during the state game of freshman
Oh, yeah, the playoff games?
year.
Yeah, oh, obviously those matter to you. What about you, Coach? Having some, you've coached some great players, such a great coaching resume and great athletes that I off the top of my head that I know you've had. For Damaris and coaching her and her reaching 1,000 points, are you amazed by this about her reaching this milestone at such a young age?
Yes. Now it's been a goal. We've talked about it loosely, but not too much in the way that it built up some nerves about it. We just kind of let it come to be. And when she got around the 900 point range, we stopped entering stats because I just didn't want her to have that pressure of, I got to get X amount this next game in order, to break that 1,000. I just didn't want that in the back of her mind as we were playing in all these hard conference, hard region games. So, but the most memorable, well, there's a few. Her first one, she hit a 3 against San Simone in the Boyd Baker tournament last year. That was her first basket, first high school basket. And from there, it was just off to the races. She ended last year with 440 points. And then, the rest is history, over 600 now. But just this last week when we played Wilcox up there on Friday of last week, and she broke the record at that time, happened to be right at the end of the first quarter. We were trying to call a timeout while the game was still going. We just weren't able to do that. But that one free throw it's something I'll never forget, and I hope she never forgets it.
Man, yeah, amazing, amazing. It's also amazing that you remember her first basket too. That shows a lot about you as a coach being there throughout the whole process and the whole journey. And also, Damaris, she mentioned her dad, so shout out to Pops. He's here in the studio as well too. Obviously, done a very good job with this young lady. This great student athlete. So you definitely have so much respect for me as another basketball coach. I know how challenging that is. I think Coach made a great decision in not posting her points leading up to that, so there's not a whole lot of nervousness or pressure to reach that. I know that's something that weighs on players.
Let me ask you this.
2,000. Is 2,000 in your wheelhouse? Is that?
Yeah, after I hit 1,000, I thought about that.
Okay, let's get another 1,000.
Okay.
Nothing wrong with that. Okay, so let's ask about your future. Being that you're a sophomore, you got 2 more years that you could play. If you had your pick of what you were going to do next after your high school basketball career, what would you be doing?
I think I'd probably play basketball at the next level, at like college level.
Okay, and would you want to go like a D2, a D1?
Probably like D2.
What is something we could expect moving ahead, from the Yellow Jacket?
Well, we had a young team this year, and we're just kind of working through the cycle. No different than in high school basketball. You know how some years can be like a roller coaster. That's what we're doing. We're fighting our battles, but at the end of the day, we get through this season, ready for the off season.
Okay. And Damaris, I'm gonna give you a different question about the past. That might not be such a secret. So, what are some things you did before you got to high school that kind of helped you improve your game and become the player you currently are?
Well, during my middle school years, I went to hoopology for a while, and then after a couple years, I started practicing with a coach my 8th grade year towards the end, and went to the tournaments with the high school girls.
So, how do you think travel ball affected the player, affected you as a young player?
It helped me become more confident in scoring. So then, because like everybody else was able to do it instead of just one person. Because school ball and travel ball are two different things because of the skill levels. So then I was able to show off more later on.
All right, and then one last question. What is it that you do mentally to help you remain focused?
I like remind myself that it's just a game. It's nothing like crazy. Like I can only do so much during that time.
That's great. You're showing a lot of maturity. I mean, it's your skills are above your age, right? But then mentally, you're thinking, above somebody that's maybe a sophomore as well. So I commend you on what you've accomplished. To score 1,000 points in 2 years. I hope you realize how big of an accomplishment that is. Like Coach said earlier, I know guys that played men that played 4 years of basketball and didn't. But women that were the leading scorer on their team for 4 years. That's a huge accomplishment to you. It's a credit to you as a coach and to your program that I salute you.
Love her. Miss Alvarez, great job.
Yeah, great interview.
Big stuff for that program over there too.
Yeah, Coach V as well, doing a great job as a head coach in that program, navigating through the ups and downs of every season. But when you have athletes like Damaris and had Rachel Thursby before that, and she reached the 1,000-point milestone as well, we could tell Damaris is definitely in the right place where she should be and where she's going to be given the opportunity to thrive. Great job.
Before we transition out of this, I just want to say, first of all, great accomplishment by her, but I want to highlight our female athletes down here. We've had 2 female athletes who have had some, career highlights that have been great. Damaris Alvarez scoring 1,000 points in her sophomore season. And then we talked about all the time, Destiny Toyota Villalobos, the co-player of the year in the flag football, also a sophomore. So not just females doing big things, but young ones doing big things. And I think that's great for athletics down in Cochise County in general.
All right, that does it for the player of the week. Let's talk about Fyzical Balance Center. Fyzical Balance Center is much more than a physical therapy clinic. At Fyzical Therapy and Balance Centers, they focus on improving your quality of life using holistic, whole-body approach to connect your diagnosis and customized plan of care. Opened by Dr. Tap DeWong of Tap Into Wellness. Love your life with Dr. Tap at Fyzical Balance Center in Sierra Vista.